What's up, YouTube? This is Jason from Team Night coming back at you guys with another deck profile. And the deck profile we're going to be discussing today is going to be none other than one of the strongest deck right now in the Overdress format, and this is none other than Bastion. He pretty much has everything kitted into him: multi-attack, power, with such a simple skill. It's pretty much a grade 3 deck. It still has its own weaknesses by being not able to do much of anything on grade 2 turn until it gets to its grade 3. But once that engine starts going, it's very hard to really stop the tempo of this deck, because it has pretty much every single effect. It gets the restanding, it gets the drawing ability, it gets the drawing, so it literally gets more cards in hand if it needs more cards. It's pretty much one of the decks that went out of the box trial deck. It was strong, and then when set 1 came out, it got even stronger, and then set 2 made no difference. So I'll be going through this deck today, and before we do go to the deck profile today, I just want to ask you guys if you could take that time to hit that subscribe button, and at the end of the video, if you can hit that like or comment down below if you enjoyed the content, or if any changes needs to be made to the deck. And any of the decks I profiled today will be on our Twitter account at Team Night Ride, on our Twitter account. So if you need to see what the full list of the deck, you can go over there and check it out. So let's start up. So the first one we're gonna have to talk is about the whole ride line for Bastion. So he pretty much has an interesting ride line, I would say, in my opinion. The first one we're going to talk about is a 0. So the 0 pretty much has a simple skill. So if you go second, you get to draw a card. So pretty much nothing changes with all of them. Like I said in my previous video, once a game gets a little bit further ahead, they'll probably start giving us other zeros with new effects that's specific to their own nation. So that'd be kind of cool to see. And then the grade 1's name is Rooks. He also has 2 different abilities. The first ability is when this card is written upon by the grade 2, you get to reveal 3 grade 3s from your hand, and then you get to draw a card. Yep, you reveal 3 grade 3s from your hand, and then you get to draw a card. And then his continuous ability, which usually you really don't get it because we don't play more of them in the deck. So continuous during your turn. If you have 3 or more grade 3s this unit gains boost. So I messed up. Sorry about that. I jumped to a grade 2 before I did anything else, but pretty much grade 2 does that. You get to draw a card if you reveal 3 grade 3s, and then he gains boost, but you really don't get to use that. But let's rewind a little bit. So we're gonna jump to the grade 1. So the grade 1 is the one that it's pretty much a luck-based effect. It also has 2 different abilities. The first ability is when you ride the Knight Rooks upon it, you get to reveal 2 grade 3s cards from your hand, and you get to reveal the top card of your deck and call it to rear guard. If it isn't a unit card, it goes straight to the drop zone. So pretty much what this does is when you ride over the grade 2 Rooks, when Rooks ride over it, over a fort, you get to reveal 2 cards from hand, which has to be grade 3s, and then you get to call the top card of your deck. Most of the time, it's going to be grade 3s because most of the deck is grade 3s. Or you might be unlucky and hit either the over trigger or all the other triggers that's in your deck, then that kind of will suck. But most of the time, when you do get lucky, you get to start building up your plays by getting grade 3s on board. So that'd be kind of cool. But you do play orders in here too, so if you hit the order cards, they get discarded instead of going to your hand. So just be aware of that. And then we're gonna jump to Big Daddy, the thing that makes this whole deck functions, and this is Bastion. Bastion has 2 different abilities. The first ability is continuous ability. During your turn, all your grade 3s gain plus 2,000. So right there, it makes all your grade 3s of 15k body. So by just giving, and it is not specific to other grade 3s, it sets itself. It gives itself a 15k body too. So it becomes on your turn, everything that is grade 3 gains 2k continuously. And then here's the other abilities at the end of the turn that your drive check revealed a grade 3, you can discard a card from hand and then choose one of your rear guards and re-stand it up and gets plus 10k. So that sounds like a very simple effect, but it's very strong because this is where the multiple attack of Bastion comes in, and early game is kind of hard for your opponents to really do anything against it because first turn they're just gonna spam out grade 3s the minute they get to grade 3 and then start tempoing, starting the engine of the game of the deck to go off, and then it's gonna be very hard to catch up with them once they start doing that. And because the deck runs so high amount of grade 3s, there's no way most likely there's like probably one of a chance that you'll just hit triggers, you don't hit any grade 3s, but as soon as you reveal a grade 3, that unit that you attacked with before, he's gonna restand it this time, is gonna be even stronger. So yeah. And then we're jumping to grade 3s, so pretty much if you don't know, the theme of the decks is grade 3s. So Bastion, Persona Ride's still a thing. You have to play a playset of him because you want to be able to Persona Ride. I know, I'm still missing an SP. Not much to say about him. You definitely need to play a playset of him because he's really good. And because since you're drawing so much in this deck, you more likely are likely to hit more of him and you'll be able to Persona Ride. But even if you don't, you're still more likely to win the game because your skill doesn't really require any counter blast or anything like that. Only just grade 3 you have to be revealed. And then we're going to jump to set 2 card. And the set 2 card we got this time is going to be an older card. This is the new form up or Chosen Knights. This is pretty much a very strong, I believe in my opinion, is a very strong order card that we got. Its ability is you play this card, you counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, which is very easily, and then perform all the effects below according to the number of grade 3s units. So if you have 2 or more grade 3s, you get to choose one of your unit, gets plus 5,000 until the end of that battle. And then if you have 3 grade 3s on board, you get to draw a card. And if you have 4 grade 3s on board, you get to choose one of your Vanguard, gets plus 1 drive check. So right now, Bastion, he only has twin drive, but now they're giving him the ability to get triple drive, which is very scary because now if you attack when you get to attack with your other rear guard first, attack with Bastion, and it gives you a little more likely to be able to hit your over trigger. And if you hit your over trigger, it can be very devastating with being able to hit triple drive every single turn. I only played him at 3. I wanted to play it at 4, but I didn't want to play that many order cards in the deck because with the grade 2 Rook skill, the grade 1 skill, I don't want to be hitting these order cards because they're really good to still have in a deck or draw into. And then we're going to be talking about the set 1 grade 3. This is pretty much one of the, like I said before in my previous videos and all my Keter decks, this is like the most powerful grade 3 card in any Keter deck that's probably going to be seen play in any deck, any Keter deck, because it's such a good card and it has a resist to anything that your opponent can do to it. Pretty much, so now by now you should know the effects. So it's continuous ability. This unit can be chosen by opponent's effects. And then auto skill, when this unit attacks hit, you can counter charge 1 and soul charge 1. So pretty much you get to build up your soul and then you get to counter charge 1. So you're really not losing anything when he attacks. And it's very hard to get rid of him on board unless your opponent commits to just attacking it only. And then one of the big state on our deck we're talking about now is Alden. Alden is one of the cards from set 1 that Bastion got, and it really hasn't changed. So Alden also has 2 skills, and they're powerful in their own right. For his first ability, when he's placed, you can counterblast 2 cards, Soul Blast 1, and then choose a card from your hand and call it to rear guard. But if the card that you call is a grade 3, you get to draw 2 cards. You can literally call any card, but if it's a grade 3, you get to draw 2 cards. So it still forces you to call a card from your hand, but if it's a grade 3, you get to draw 2 cards. And his other ability is there's no once per turn or anything like that with it. When this unit attacks, if you have three or more units with grade 3 units on board, this unit gets plus 5,000. So you attack with it the first time. He's an 18k beat stick, but with Bastion skill with 2k, he's 20k. And then if you restand him up this time, he's gonna be, when he swings again, he's gonna be at the, I believe, 30k. So just by doing that with no booster, this card is really strong. So especially when you if you hit your over trigger, getting twin drive on him too is kind of fun because then he gets to do a little more things. So you gotta play him as play set. And then the other grade 3 I'm playing in the deck, and this is the one from the also set 2 that came out. And this is Prideful Dragon. I'm not playing him at I've seen some list people are playing him at like 3 or 4. I feel like one is 2 of them is good enough because I'm playing other cards, because I'm trying to tech in some other cards to use in the deck. So let me know what you think. So his ability is, when this unit attacks, if you have 4 or more grade 3 your rear guards, that includes himself and Vanguard, you can Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1 and draw a card. But if you Persona Ride this turn, you may have this card gains 5,000 and a crit until the end of battle instead of drawing a card. So pretty much right there, this card is pretty much a very strong beat stick also, besides Alden, because it lets you, if you Persona Ride, it gives you that critical early without having to rely on hitting triggers, because by just staying him up, on Persona Ride he's 23 or 25k. When he stands up again by Bastion skill, he's at 35 by himself. And on top of that, his other skill, that's without activating his skill of the Counter Blast and Soul Blast to get the 5k in critical. And then the cool part about this card is it's not a once per turn skill, so you can do it as many times as you want, you want to do it. Every time he attacks, if he stands up again, you get to do it again. So, and the skill does not fizzle out until the end of the turn. So you can literally be giving this guy 3 damage by himself. So I'm playing more like I'm only playing him at 2 because reason why is because I tried to play him at 4, but it was such a heavy setup because you have to have at least 4 grade 3s on board just to get his effect off, and most of the time your opponent will try to swing at your rear guards just to make sure that you don't get to that point, because this card puts a lot of pressure on them. And then the other card I'm playing, this is one of the older cards. I'm only playing it at 1 now. This is also one card that came in a trial deck. I got it foil, because shiny looks nice foil. So it's also another draw for the deck. It pretty much has a simple skill. You play this card, you Counter Blast 2, and you draw 2 cards, and you choose one of your units and get plus 5k. So it pretty much does the same thing as, give me a second here, it does the same thing as this thing. Pretty much these are like your draw outlets. So you have like 3 different cards that let you draw cards. So, you have like 3 different cards in the deck that lets you draw cards. So you really don't run out of hand with this deck. And because I know a lot of people will say that's a lot of heavy counter blasting, but with the cards on with the other grade 3 being able to counter charge for you every single turn, it's not really that hard to counter charge in this deck. And the cool part also about it is that your main boss doesn't require counter blast to do anything. So even if you have no more counter blast, you just put a grade 3 on and just go smash face the whole game, and you don't really need to use your counter blast. So why not? And then we're playing the other grade 3 we're playing in this deck. I'm playing one of him now. I'm playing One Dung String Dragon. I'm still playing this card because it's still a good card. It has an Ash skill. His ability is if you have 3 or more grade 3s units, you can Soul Blast 2, and then all your grade 3s gain boost. So pretty much, this is one of the cards that's you just Soul Blast 2 cards, and it gives all your grade 3s in the back row the ability to boost, and himself, I believe himself too. Yep. So you can give himself boost. So why not play him? Because he's such a simple skill to do. It's very easy to do that. And one of the other ones I'm testing out, this is also one card that comes in the set 2, and this is a very weird card for me. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm still play testing it to see if it works well. It also has 2 different abilities. The first ability is a continuous ability. If you personalize this turn, this unit gains boosts. I know what people are gonna say, because this card is a little bit weird because you have to personalize to get his effect off, but the other effect on it also makes it a little bit good also, because from back row, once per turn, when one of your other units stands by a card effect, stand this unit. So pretty much when you restand one of your front row rear guards with Bastion's effect, you get to restand them up again. That's the only reason why I like them, just because of that effect right there. But the first effect makes it kind of a weird deck card to use, because most of the time you don't get to Persona Ride that much in the game. Even though you draw so much in Bastion, there's a good chance that you will never get to Persona Rides that much. So you can either keep that at 1 or play more of him, because he's very easy to get off, because you have to Soul Blast 2 cards, and then you have to have a full front row of grade 3, and you're all set. So I just play him at 1 just to see how it goes. And just to be a little more defensive in this deck, I played this guy, this new order card that we got, Blitz Order. So this is Noble Will. So it's a pretty much, if you have 3 or more grade 3s on, you get to choose one of your Vanguard, gets plus 20k shield. So it's one of the little cool cards that we got. The first one we had was a different version that was from set 1, and it literally just gave us 15k. This one literally gives us 20k shield. So pretty much, it does pretty much as the new what was the front triggers we got. I wanted to be a little more defensive in this deck, and I thought, why not play a card that gives a little bit more guard options. And then the other grade 3 I'm playing, and this is also one of them that came in the trial deck with Bastion. So this is Wolflick or something like that. So he also has a simple skill. His ability is you can put the screen into your soul and then choose one of your grade 3 rear guards. It gets plus 10,000. So pretty much it gives one of your other grade 3s a 10k buff, and on top of it, it builds up your soul for you too. So it goes to soul, and then if you didn't have that much soul to do the other effects, now you have it because of this card. So it's a very good card. I think it's still gonna be played because it's such a easy effect to get off. And if you don't want soul right now, you can just use it as a beat stick the whole rest of the game. So why not? And now we're officially done with the grade 3s. Now we're jumping to the grade 1s. You have to play a play set up PGs because you still need to perfect guard in this game, and with the ability of Bastion be drawing so much that you're most likely gonna see them early. So it's a cool thing to have them. And this is another grade 1 I'm playing. This is one of the little techs I'm playing this deck. I don't know how people feel about it in this video, but I'm playing Painkiller Angel because the problem I've been noticing about Bastion, like I said in the beginning of the video, is that he's very weak to early rush. Because once he gets to like 4 or 5 damage, it's going to be very hard to recover. Especially if you're not hitting triggers, you're drawing your triggers, and not healing out of it. It makes it very hard to do anything. This card, I feel like, fixes the problem by a little bit. Being able to be a little bit aggressive early game and still being able to retire this card and draw a card. So you start building up your hand very fast with this card, because after it boosted, whatever it boosted, you get to Soul Blast 1, draw a card. I know that it's getting rid most of the soul of the deck, but you got to sacrifice something to be able to draw enough cards to see your answers. Like, just see some, either maybe a trigger, you draw into a trigger that help you guard for next attack or something like that would be kind of cool. So I play him at 3, and it's never failed me. And then we're going to be jumping to zeros. And for the 0, we're going to talk about, the first one we're going to be talking about is the Overtrigger. So this is pretty much the Keter's Overtrigger. And this is like the strongest card in Keter right now because of what it does. So when you hit this Overtrigger, you get to do 2 things. The first one, you get to draw a card, and then you get all your units gain additional drive check. So right there, it makes this card very good with any deck. Because if whatever deck you have, whatever units you have on board, they clearly gain a drive check. So if you, in this deck is very high on their grade 3 lineups, having a lot of grade 3s, and this is where the deck gets scarier, because once you hit those and your grade 3s restand and does whatever you need to do with Bastion, it gives you all your grade 3s the ability to drive check, so they all get to drive, building your hand even further. So there's a good chance that you might deck out 2, so just be aware of that. But your opponent will really don't like you when you do so. So Overtrigger. So this is the game. It's pretty much luck based, so you gotta play Overtrigger. And the other thing we're playing, we gotta play. I'm playing 5 crits in this deck. You want to try to crit your opponent as much as possible. At first I was playing a little bit lower than this, but I bumped it up to 5 this time. So yeah. 5 crits. And then you gotta be playing 4 heals, because you need to heal in this game. The next one I'm playing 4 draws, just to draw a little bit more and build up my hand more. So you gotta play, I'm playing it so that I can see more of my answers and draw enough cards so that I'm able to draw in some of my triggers, especially when your opponent's trying to kill you with multiple attacks. So, you know. And This one is the front, but this is going to be changed for the new front, the 20k front. It's on the way. It hasn't been here yet, so I think the new fronts makes a lot of difference in this deck. Right now, I was playing this fronts because you want hitting a front on Bastion Shrine, hitting bigger numbers is kind of cool. So you can substitute these for the new front that came out in set 2. I will be doing the same also. You can also, if you don't want that many draws, you can always bump it up and add more of it to it to make it so that you have a little bit more 20k shields in hand. If anything, if the need comes arise. Like I said, it's in the mail. I'm just waiting for it to get here. And then for Bastion, my thoughts about this deck is very strong. And every set is getting stronger and stronger because Bushy's just giving it very powerful cards to use, and it's very hard to deal with. Even though a lot of people say it's kind of I'm gonna be honest with you, it's kind of a brain dead deck. There's nothing crazy about it, but it's just you have to spend the time and really decide when. The only you could still be a brain deck, and you could still be losing with it. You just literally have to sit there and decide when to do things, because you can't just dump everything on board and just keep poking your opponent, because people have learned how to play around this deck, even just a little. Just being able to bluff them, because they know this deck only has a lot of grade 3s, and they'll try to make sure that you run out of resources very fast by just killing your rear guards. So you got to be able to hold on to all your rear guards and push when the need arises. So let me know what you guys think of this deck. Like always, if you do like this video, please hit that subscribe button. This is Jason from Team Night Ride signing out.